Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chesswise. Today we are at the fifth and the last topic of our crash course, and we are going to look at the case of attacking the uncastled king. Let's start with the first position here. It is white to play. We see that white has all the active pieces. Both knights are ahead, bishop is eyeing the d6 square, both rooks on the open file, queen is eyeing the a2 g8 diagonal. If we look at the black king, we will see that black king has no place to move. That is one weakness, and the square f7 is weak. These are the things which we need to see while assessing the king's safety. Then we see that black's pieces are all mostly on the 8th rank. So activity wise black is very poorly placed. So what white sees here is an interesting idea to attack f7. So few candidate moves which come to mind. See, there is an e6 check, there is rook e8 check, there is the weakness of f7 because of which white thought of moving the knight. So the move knight e7 which comes as a surprise to black, because what happens, the knight not only does a fork on c6, c8, g8, but the rook is opened and the threat is rook d8 followed by qf7 mate, which makes black's task very difficult. See, ne7, if knight takes e7, then rook d8 check followed by qf7 mate. Thus after ne7, the only move is queen f6 guarding the f7 square. Now white notices that the h8 rook is the major defender. It guards g8 and the square h7. So white could find the move knight h7 check, which decides the game instantly. If rook takes h7, then we see that qg8 mates, and after the move ke8, there is the very strong knight g8 check. Since it guards the e7 square now, the only move be7 loses instantly to knight hf6 check, g takes f6, re7 check, king f8, rook d8, and next move queen f7 is checkmate. So black preferred to resign over here. Let's go to the next position now. Let's look at the second position here. It is white to play. We see that again white is somewhat active. The knight, queen and the bishop are well placed, and black king is stuck in the center. Black is just about to escape with the move long castle, and here white decided to block the king on e8 square itself. And let's see what are the candidate moves for white here. One is the move queen a4 check to attack the king, but black has the move b5 over there. Here white notices that if black's castle has to be stopped, there are very few candidates. The knight on e5 is attacked, so he came across with the move knight f7. The main reason of using knight f7 is that he sees that the queen and bishop both are in the e7 square, and this bishop on f8 is the defender. So white goes with nf7 with the sole idea of getting the king on f7. When after rook f1 check, f8 would be destroyed. Now the first problem is, if rook g8, then just queen h7 and the rook would be trapped. Say after king f7, rook f1 check, and the g8 rook is lost. So black had to go with the move king f7, and now white plays rook f1 check. Position has collapsed. Only chance is queen f1. When after kf1 we see white will soon get the rook on e1, queen e6 check and take on e7. That would be winning for white. So black went with the move ke8. We can see kg8 loses instantly to queen e6 mate. And here white calculated further. There is a nice mating pattern. Rook f8 check. If rook takes f8, then queen e7 mates. So he goes rook f8 check, king f8, and here white uses the idea queen e7 check. He is using a very nice pattern with bishop and queen. King g8 forced, queen e6 check, king f8. So the reason for not taking instant b7 with the queen on e4 was the king is not allowed the f7 square to escape. And now after king f8, white goes bishop e7 check, forcing ke8, and now in this case the king can be mated on both sides. The pattern is like bishop f6, he guarding d8, we push the king to one side, and now queen e7, kg8, qg7 mate. Same he could have done in this case with the move bd6, when after kd8, queen e7, kc8 and queen c7 checkmates. Let's have a look at the third position here. We can see that white is clearly on the top of his game here. His king is safe. pieces are more developed, and on the contrary black's king is caught up in the center, and we see black's h8 and f8 pieces still undeveloped. The case, although bit complicated, but is a very nice one for practice of calculation also and understanding how to exploit the king which is caught in the center. White notices that the knight is eyeing the d6 and the f6 squares. In fact, the move knight f6, if possible, would create a very elegant mate. So he starts with the move, see, queen b5 check. This move is missed by many. The queen check is sacrifice also, and it is intended to deflect the queen. After qb5 we see things are really forced because queen attacks the knight and black has very few moves, only one move actually. So after qb5, if q takes b5, then see knight f6 checkmates. After the move rook d7, queen e5 check, and the h8 rook is lost. So the only move is knight d7, to which white finds the very strong move here. The idea is clear. The king has to be caught in the middle, and white goes with re1. Simple yet elegant. We see there are two threats, knight e6 and knight f6 checkmate. Black has very few things to choose from. Either he can go be7. Black played the move bb4 in the game. It is one of the best tries. After be7, you can see that there is knight e6 check, king f8. With so many attackers hovering on the black king, white has another strong move, rook takes e7. So it's game over. d7 hangs, mate on f7 is there. If queen takes b5, rook f7, k g8, knight h6 checkmates. So there is nothing much that black can do over here. Black played bb4 in the game, to which also white went with the very strong nf6 now. King f8 forced, and here white finishes off the game beautifully. There are so many weaknesses in the black position. Many try to win material here. See nd7, rook d7, qd7, but perhaps black can go with the move bb4 over there. White here exploited the poor placing of the king and undefended rooks with see nd7, rook takes d7, and here comes the very strong queen e5. Brilliant play by white. He is not looking to take any material. Now there are several mating threats. Queen h8, queen e8 and queen g7. Three threats to defend, and black has nothing to choose. After f6 there is queen e8 mate. After g takes f5, just queen h8 mates. After bishop takes c1, again queen h8 is checkmate. So black resigned over here. Let's look at the last position now. Let's look at the last case, which is again a bit complicated. Again, the black king is stuck in the center, but it is about to escape with long castle or short castle. White has to act quickly. This has just come from an opening. White has given up a pawn as a gambit, and he is looking to get good play. White rook on e4 is attacked, and there is no time to save this rook with move like rook e1, because then black will get to just castle and defend his position in a better way. So white looks at attempts to create play instantly. He notices that the knight on e7 is pinned right now, so queen can take on f5, but the queen d7 is a defender. So white puts his attention towards the defending queen, and he comes across the move bishop b5. See, at first this move looks like a blunder, because just see queen takes b5 is there. Also there is the move c6. But do note that after bb5, qb5, qf5, the long castle idea would be stopped and the queen would become very active on f5. We'll come to that later. But after bb5, what about c6? After c6, we see the point c6 becomes focal point of attack by this queen and the bishop. So it is exactly in the middle. White goes with d takes c6, b takes c6, and the move bishop c6, which looked impossible at first, but now see after qc6, rook e7 check, and the queen is lost. White would be winning over there. So black went with the only possible move qb5, and now white played the very simple qf5. Now Threats loom large on black. Firstly, he cannot castle short because QH7 mates. Long castle is impossible. Queen controls, and the threat is RAE1. So black has to act quickly because even the move Queen F7 is a major threat. Let's say QD7 trying to attack the queen, then there is just QF7, KD8, either RAE1 or the move Knight E6 checked, first pushing the king away from the knight, and see the strong move Knight F8 when E7 would be taken and white wins. Black goes with the move F6, and here white in the game played RAE1, which of course he won after FG Rook E7 check. But white here has an elegant finish. As we know the 3-piece attack rule, sacrifice one and the other two mates. So here comes Rook E7 check, forced king takes E7, and now comes Queen E6 check. Instant game over, King F8 loses to Queen F7 mate, and KD8 loses to Knight F7 checkmate, and white won the game. So this was our last lesson of the crash course. So do let me know in the comments below how did you find the course. In future I would like to bring more courses for some higher rated range, maybe 1200 to 1400 and so on. Thanks for your time.